It's been nearly 70 days since Russia began its all-out attack on Ukraine. Since then, the world has embraced the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy as a symbol of resistance in a country very much under siege. A recent article in Time magazine offered a rare glimpse inside Zelenskyy's battle to survive. Last month, the Time reporter Simon Schuster went more than 2 weeks side by side with Zelenskyy and his aides inside the presidential compound in Kyiv. Schuster writes, the experience revealed how much the Ukrainian leader has changed since he first met him there years ago. That's when Zelenskyy was still an actor and comedian running for president. Schuster writes, there were new creases in his face, and he no longer searched the room for his advisors when considering an answer to a question. I've gotten older, Zelenskyy admitted. I've aged from all this wisdom that I never wanted. It's the wisdom tied to the number of people who've died and the torture the Russian soldiers perpetrated. That kind of wisdom, he added, is trailing off. To be honest, I never had the goal of attaining knowledge like that. The author of that article, Simon Schuster, is with us now. Thank you. It's good of you to be here. Wisdom I never wanted. What was it like being a fly on the wall even more with this man who's become so respected all around the world?
Yeah, it was strange. I'd been there before. I met Zelenskyy in 2019. I'd interviewed him before in the presidential compound where we spent time since the invasion. And in some ways it feels normal. I mean, you know, they emerge from the underground bunker to do most of their work, to have most of their meetings. A couple of days before we had our big interview there in his office, they ordered pizza for delivery. And,
you know, he seems so chill while making people rise up. I mean, he almost singularly did it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that decision to remain in Kyiv is really what inspired a lot of European leaders to rush to his support. You know, if he had run away, if more of his government had run away, I think the impression among a lot of European leaders, maybe American leaders, would have been, well, what's the point of standing up for Ukraine if they won't stand up for themselves?
What was the feeling like at the bunker? Were there times when you were like, this is getting tense?
Well, to be clear, foreigners are not allowed in the underground bunker, but they spend less and less time there now. They spent most of their time there when the Russians were really at the gates of Kyiv, and there was a real threat of Russian commandos essentially bursting through the door of the compound. But now the main threat is from airstrikes, so they spend most of their time in their offices, where the windows are barricaded with sandbags, there are soldiers everywhere, and they go down to the bunker when they hear air raid sirens, and they expect the possibility of a missile strike. But otherwise, they're in their offices.
You look at the video from cities scattered all over this massive country, and you wonder, how are they going to recover from this? Even if this ends, how do they recover? Did you get a sense for that?
Their minds are not really thinking that far ahead at this point. Yeah. I think President Zelenskyy and his aides are focused on this battle that has begun for eastern Ukraine. The Russians have regrouped and moved a lot of their forces to the east, and the fighting there is extremely intense for over every village and town there. So Zelenskyy is focused on trying to hold out, as he said. He says if we hold out, that'll be a decisive moment for Ukraine, probably a tipping point in the war.
I'm running late, but when you met him before, would you have ever thought of that character that you met, and he was a character, becoming a leader like this on a world stage?
I didn't expect it, no.
Yeah.
He was very naive, kind of happy-go-lucky, naive about what politics would be like on the global stage. But he's stepped up in a way that I think nobody really expected.
Met the moment. Simon Schuster, the article's up at Time. Good to see you. Thank you.